The War Memorial Center is an experiential place unlike any other in the entire country, right here along the shores of Lake Michigan. It's a place where heroes are honored, history is taught, warriors are healed, events are celebrated, and memories are made. Join us for this very special episode of Discover Wisconsin.
My fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.
In the depths of World War II, the bloodiest years, the community here in Wisconsin determined that they wanted to build a memorial, a reminder of the sacrifice for freedom. So on October 14th, 1944, women leadership organizations incorporated a war memorial. It evolves eventually to what we have today. Everything has symbolism of the sacrifice and the Battle of Normandy. This is an extremely unique memorial in how it was designed and concepted to be a living, breathing memorial where you have the veterans organizations operating here, serving their fellow brothers and sisters, living and breathing in this memorial.
The War Memorial is a really iconic, unique building in Milwaukee. Erro Saarinen was an early modern architect, one of the most important architects in our history, a veteran of World War II, actually part of the OSS. He had a keen interest in designing this specifically for veterans.
He starts to interview a number of veterans, eventually lands on a concept of building a structure symbolic of Omaha Beach.
It's designed like what's called a German pillbox. So it's an elevated platform that gave the German infantry an advantage during the Normandy invasion. And the pivotal moment of the U.S. invasion of Normandy would have been the thing that those veterans would have seen.
So we're standing on top of the Kaler addition to the Art Museum, built in 1977. It was actually 200 yards from the lake to the War Memorial, which is the distance that the troops on D-Day had to charge the beach to actually get to the cliff.
The building is a suspended cruciform shape with a courtyard in the center of it that was really built as a gathering space for veterans.
Just the orientation of the building and the cross pointing east and west has that symbolism of faith, birth, and of death.
And at the very heart of that cruciform is the eternal flame reflecting pond, very symbolic that that's placed right at the center of this cruciform.
The original structure is referred to as a pedestal. So when you look at it, you can see that third and fourth floor elevated, the veterans being held up on a pedestal.
So you can see here that really impressive cantilever out 30 feet, all supported by these trapezoidal columns. And you see that these taper towards the top and at the bottom. Really unique columns for its time.
Cantilevered forms is when you have an extension that just sort of hangs unsupported. In this case, it's got a cantilever on all four sides, something that had really never been executed on that level before.
The concrete that was used for the superstructure of the War Memorial was lightweight concrete. The weight of a cantilevered structure like this with concrete is going to be from the concrete itself. So they wanted to be able to lighten that load as much as possible. The east wing and the west wing of the War Memorial tied together with reinforcing bars through the structure to be able to put that cantilever within equilibrium.
He was the first to really do it in such a dramatic style and to create a building that at its time probably must have felt unsafe to be in. It gives you a sense of awe, a sense of wonder that this thing could even be built.
We're standing on the birdcage stair, one of the defining features of the building. Vertical steel mullions that encapsulate these really thin vertical pieces of glass. The whole thing is really designed to actually look like a prison, look like a birdcage, a reference to the prisoners of war and those missing in action.
He wanted to make sure that we're also remembering that sacrifice of our prisoners of war and missing in action. So the mission statement of the War Memorial Center is honor the dead, serve the living. Just having that originally concept and built into the structure ties it all together.